this unit, you are going to learn about how degrees of certainty are expressed using the modal verbs will, may, might, could, can and must. In English, using modal verbs is the most common way of indicating different degrees of certainty about past, present and future situations and events. The same modal verbs can be used with different meanings in different tenses. Remember that modal verbs are invariable in all persons and that all modal verbs, except ought, are followed by the base verb. Negatives are formed by adding not directly after the modal verb, and questions are formed by placing the modal verb before the subject. When we know the facts, we do not use a modal auxiliary. Federica, Liam's on the phone. Shh, the baby's sleeping. When we make surmises or assumptions about the facts, we use modal verbs. Compare the following sentences with the ones we just looked at. The phone's ringing. It might be Vanessa. It's after 11. Don't phone now. They may be sleeping. Here, there is a chance that something is true, but we are not certain. We show this by using a modal verb. Other meanings expressed by modal auxiliary verbs, permission, ability, obligation, duty, have been dealt with in other lessons. In this lesson, we are going to study how modal verbs are used in different tenses to express degrees of certainty. For each tense, we'll see which modals are used to express certainty, negative certainty, probability, improbability, possibility. We'll start with the present tense. When we know, or think we know, the facts about a present situation or event, we use the present simple or present continuous tense. When we wish to express the idea that there is a chance that something is true now, or at a general time around now, we use modals. Modals can also be used in continuous forms. A modal verb followed by be plus the ing participle. Here are some examples. He may be sleeping. She might be having supper. They could be watching television. They must be coming up the stairs now. He'll be sitting at the pub, having a beer and talking. When describing something that is happening at the moment of speaking or writing, verbs which can be used in the continuous form should be. They can't be sleeping. It's only 9 o'clock. She'll be studying now. She's got an exam tomorrow. He must be working. If you say, I can hear water splashing in the streets as the cars pass, it must rain, is a mistake. It must be raining is correct. Let's look at what different modal verbs mean when we use them to refer to present situations or events. Will can be used in the present to express the idea of near certitude. You assume something is true because there is no reason to doubt it. The phone's ringing. That'll be John. He said he'd ring at 9. You know Mary, so you'll understand what I mean when I say she can be intolerant. Will not, won't, in the present indicates that you assume something is not true. You don't know Mary, so you won't understand what I mean. Must is used to indicate we are sure something is so because it is the only logical possibility. You must be very happy to have passed your driving test. It must be very cold. Everyone's wearing overcoats and hats. She must go to the cinema a lot. She's seen every film I've mentioned. I must be tireder than I thought. I can hardly keep my eyes open. I must be getting old. Must cannot be used in the negative for evaluating possibilities. It is not possible to use must not or mustn't in this way. He mustn't be asleep is a mistake. Instead, we use could not and cannot to indicate that something is logically impossible. The contracted forms are normally used. He can't be asleep. I hear him talking to someone. She can't be watching television. She hasn't got one. He couldn't possibly mean that. It's ridiculous. May, might, could are used when we wish to indicate that there is a possibility that something is so. In the present tense, these three modals are frequently felt to be similar in meaning, so that which you use is a question of personal choice. However, some people find that may expresses the strongest possibility and that might and could express a weaker possibility. Someone's waving to us. It may be Jane, or it might be Mary, but it could be Alice. In negative sentences, may not, might not are used when you assume that it is possible that something is not so. Look at this photo of our high school class. I think that's Jane. It might not, may not be Jane. I think Jane had longer hair. Remember that the meaning of could not is completely different from the meaning of may, might not. As we've just seen, could not indicates logical impossibility. Could not can also be used with a comparative adjective to indicate that something is the most or the least possible. It couldn't be nicer. It's a beautiful day. The weather couldn't be better. She couldn't care less about him. Can and could are used in questions about present possibility. This is more common in speech than in writing. There's someone at the door. Who can it be at this time of night? What could they possibly want? However, it is not possible to use can in affirmative sentences to speculate on the chances of one particular thing being true. It can be Jane in the picture is a mistake. Can is only used for theoretical possibility. Snakes can make very good pets if properly cared for. Could can be used to talk about theoretical possibility in the past. Our pet python died last month. He could be very difficult at times. May is not used in direct questions. Instead, use questions with think. Who do you think it is? Who do you think it might be? Do you think it could be Alice? For the future, when we wish to say that something is certain to be true, we use will. They'll be very happy in their new home. The rain will end by mid-afternoon. When instead we feel that something is certain not to be, we use will not or won't. He won't like the job. The report won't be ready by Tuesday. As we saw in an earlier lesson, be going to can also be used in some cases to indicate certainty about future events or situations. When we are less sure, but think there is a chance something will happen, we can use may or might to express possibility, or may not, might not to express the possibility that something will not happen. They may move to Australia in the autumn. They might stay there for 2 years. The report may not be ready by Tuesday. I might not be able to phone you. When we are talking about possibilities, might is not the past of may. Some people feel that may indicates a stronger possibility than might, but some people do not find any difference. Whether you use may or might is a question of personal choice. In negative sentences, it is possible to use the contracted form mightn't, but this is rarely done. There is no negative contracted form of may not. Could is used to express a weak future possibility, when we think that something is possible but not particularly likely. It could snow tomorrow. She could move, but I don't think she wants to. Can is not used to talk about the possibility that a particular thing will happen. It is not possible to use can for specific predictions. It can snow tomorrow is a mistake. When you know the facts of a past occurrence or situation, you use a past tense. When was he born? He was born in 1901. Jane said she'd meet me, but she's not here. She phoned. She missed the train. What caused the fire? It was a short circuit. When we wish to indicate that we are speculating about what happened in the past, we use a modal verb plus perfect infinitive, have plus past participle. Will have is used to express near certitude that something has happened. They'll have arrived by now. They left hours ago. We use will not, have, won't have to indicate near certitude that something has not happened. They only left a few minutes ago. They won't have arrived yet. Must have can be used to express certainty, to say what we feel happened, based on logic or on what is generally accepted to be true. I can't find my umbrella. I must have left it at the supermarket. That was the last place I stopped. The fire must have been caused by a short circuit. All other possibilities have been ruled out. He's very old. He must have lived through the First World War. Venice is lovely in the autumn. You must have had a wonderful time. Must not have is not used for negative certainty. Use can't have, couldn't have instead. Both could not have and cannot have are used when we wish to indicate negative certainty about the past. When we are sure that something did not happen because logically it was not possible, we use either can't have or couldn't have. They can't have stayed at home. There are no lights on in the house. You couldn't have finished the exercises. You just started a few minutes ago. When you are reporting what you thought at some time in the past, only couldn't have is possible. I realized they couldn't have stayed at home. There were no lights on. When, instead, we wish to indicate that there is a possibility that something happened, but we do not know whether it did or not, may have, might have, could have are used. Using may have, might have, or could have indicates that we feel that something was a possibility in the past. I wonder where Jane is. She may have missed her train. What caused the fire? It might have been a short circuit. Someone phoned but didn't leave her name. It could have been Federica. I was expecting her to phone. Might not have and may not have are used to express the idea that there is a possibility that something did not happen, but you do not know. I might not have bought my book. I'll look. They may not have turned off the radio. I think I hear music. Remember that the meaning of could not have is very different. As we've seen, it expresses impossibility rather than possibility. Continuous forms can be used to refer to the past. If you say to someone, Jane's phone was busy for over an hour, the following are past possibilities using continuous forms. She may have been talking to Mary. They always stay on the phone for a long time. She might have been trying. She could have been trying to call you. She must have been studying. She takes the phone off the hook when she studies. She can't have been talking all the time. I'm sure the phone's out of order. Might have and could have are used when we wish to say that there was a possibility of something happening in the past, but it did not, in fact, happen. He didn't stop at that light. Luckily, nothing happened, but he might have had an accident. She fell while hiking in the mountains. She could have hurt herself, but she didn't. May have and can have are not used in this way. Could have is often used in a figurative way. This is a strong way of saying that you felt like doing something but didn't. He was just awful. I could have killed him. She was wonderful. I could have kissed her. I was so embarrassed. I could have died. Only could have is used in this way. Couldn't have, followed by a comparative adjective, can also mean that something in the past had the most or least of a particular quality conceivable. It is the past form of couldn't plus comparative adjective that we looked at when we studied present possibility. He couldn't have been nicer. The weather couldn't have been better. She couldn't have cared less about him. That is the end of the lesson. Now you can do the exercises on the grammar points presented in this unit.